Hi friends, this is Surojit Ray here. In this video, I shall be delving into a very intriguing subject. The point of discussion here is who is the ultimate God in Hinduism? Please do not skip any portions of this video. If you do so, you will not understand it fully. This is going to be a very interesting watch. It shall leave you with good knowledge on the subject. That is my guarantee to you. So please watch the full video for sure. In fact, before I begin speaking on this topic, let us play a small quiz here. Let me ask you this question. Who, according to you, is the ultimate God in Hinduism? I give you 5 seconds to think and answer this question. Well, your time is up now. Whatever is your answer, I would request you to just keep it with you for the moment. Depending on the God you strongly believe in, you may have answered this question as possibly Shiva or Krishna or Ganpati or maybe Vishnu or Brahma or Ma Durga or maybe Ma Kali, right? Do you think any of these answers is correct? Well, let me hold back the correct answer for a while. I can say here that once you will get to know the correct answer, you will be left amazed for sure. Unlike most other religions on earth, which are monotheistic in nature, meaning they believe in the existence of a single God, it is assumed and believed by most that Hinduism is a polytheistic religion where several gods and goddesses are parallelly worshipped. Yes, indeed, folklore in Hinduism does speak about the existence of quite a few gods and goddesses. But, you will be surprised to note that Vedic literature clearly demonstrates the existence of a single, timeless, all-pervasive power which sits at the center of the cosmic reality. Christians call it God, Muslims call it Allah, Parsis worship it in the form of fire, and the Vedas refer to it as Brahman. Yes, you heard it right. It is Brahman. Brahman is the all-pervading Supreme Lord in Hinduism. Please don't mix it with the word Brahmin, which we all know and which is a section or class of people in Hinduism. This is Brahman, spelled as Brahman. So, whatever answer you would have given to my earlier question, the god or goddess you would have named there is nothing but a humble manifestation or subset of the supreme power Brahman. Interesting, right? As a Hindu, this is a very important fact to be fully aware of, that Brahman is the pinnacle of ultimate divine reality in Hinduism. Let me now throw light on the concept of Brahman in some more detail, since there's a very high chance that you knew nothing about Brahman until a few minutes back when you started seeing this video. Whether it is the Vedas or the Bible or the Quran or any other supreme literature from any religion in the world, all talk about the ultimate divine reality as something which is all-pervading, as also shapeless and timeless. In most religious literatures, the ultimate reality has been defined as something which always was, which is, and which shall always remain. In fact, most religions explain the ultimate reality as a beam of light, meaning it is shapeless and formless. Parsis worship it in its actual form, fire being their god. The Vedas too define Brahman as being timeless, shapeless, all-pervading, and the center of divine cosmic reality. In fact, Vedic literature speaks in great detail about Brahman. Brahman is also referred to as Satchitananda, a term which you may have possibly heard before. Satchitananda means joy and peace emanating from consciousness of the ultimate truth, or being aware of the ultimate reality, which is none other than Brahman. As per Vedic literature, Brahman is the only phenomenon which shall exist forever. Everything else, including the universe that we live in, is temporary. In fact, this universe is just a one-day creation in the life of Brahma. Brahma's one day being worth 432,000 crore years on earth. Also, the different yugas that we live through on earth are mere time zones in that one day of Brahma's life. It is further written in the Vedic literature that Brahman created the trinity force of Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who is the sustainer, and Mahesh or Shiva, who is the balancer. So, all in all, Brahman represents the true monotheistic reality of supreme godliness in Hinduism, followed by his prime subordinates Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, who have been created by Brahman himself. All of the many gods and goddesses whom we worship in Hinduism, including our Kul Devis or Kul Devtas and Gram Devis or Gram Devtas, are nothing but physical manifestations of the trinity force of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. This now takes us to the next question. Why did Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh have to create so many gods and goddesses over time? Well, they did so since man is a follower of tangible reality right since ancient times. It is hard for man to believe something which has not been seen with the eyes. To prove the existence of the supreme power and the ultimate reality, the Trinity Force had to send their physical manifestations on earth from time to time. This helped reinforce faith of man in the ultimate reality. In actuality, we were all meant to worship the Paramatma or the Supreme Soul which rests in our inner self. Our inner self is actually the most sacred temple to ever exist. But man failed miserably over here. Very few could successfully recognize the Paramatma within. Reason being, how do I trust something which exists within me but cannot be seen? The Supreme Reality smiled at this ignorance of man. He then gave man idols to worship. We surrender with complete faith in front of an idol, since we can see it, and it represents the God we worship. But in actuality, the idol is just a placebo or guiding mechanism which subconsciously connects us with the Paramatma resting deep within our inner self. When we go and pray before an idol in a temple, we do not pray to the idol. We actually put forth our prayers before the Paramatma resting deep within our inner self. So, this was the actual reason behind introduction of idol worship in Hinduism, to help us connect with the Paramatma which rests within us. We could not see the Paramatma within, hence God had to show us idols outside. Profound and interesting, right? In fact, for this very reason, the Trinity Force also sent their god and goddess representatives on earth from time to time. The goal was to help keep the faith of man in the supreme reality alive. When you see a physical manifestation of the ultimate reality in the form of a god or goddess possessing divine powers, it becomes very easy for you to believe in and have faith in the ultimate reality. So that explains the illusional polytheism within actual monotheism that exists in the Hindu tradition, so to say. Last question. Well, why do we not have temples of Brahman all around. If he is the ultimate god in Hinduism, we should be having temples of Brahman, right? Why don't we have temples of Brahman? The answer to this question is simple. We need to understand that every god or goddess we see in the temples is a manifestation of Brahman. I've already explained this earlier in the video. Brahman is believed to be shapeless, formless, and truly eternal. It is the only ultimate reality to exist. It is a reality too magnanimous to be captured in the four walls of any temple. In fact, our Jivatma or soul is accompanied by the super soul or Paramatma, which is a fractional manifestation of the ultimate reality known as Satchitananda or Brahman. So, in a simple sense, every living being is actually a temple of Brahman, given the existence of Paramatma within all of us. Hence, with so many living temples of Brahman all around, do we really need any more non-living temples for him? Every living body on earth is a temple of Brahman, as simple. If you are a Hindu, it is important for you to know the basics of the religion that you belong to. The existence of Brahman as the supreme being is a basic fact of Hinduism, which possibly you were not aware of before you watched this video. We have got so busy with all the gods and goddesses whom we worship that somewhere we have forgotten to recognize the identity of this all-pervading supreme reality of godliness in Hinduism, a part of which rests within us in the form of Paramatma. This is a classic case of the core message having got lost completely within all the complex paraphernalia surrounding it. We know the steps we are taking, but most of us do not realize where these steps are actually leading us to. All our worship, all our prayers lead us to one singular reality, the Satchitananda or Brahman. And the route we use to reach there is through the Paramatma vesting within all of us. Well, what is known as Paramatma is also known as inner self or Holy Spirit or subconscious mind or willpower by many. That is how different religions, faiths, and belief systems cross roads on the ultimate reality, all roads leading to one single ultimate destination. Hope this video has helped you understand this very basic fundamental of Hinduism. This was a leaf out of the rich database of Hindu mythology. To like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel titled Karma Cosmos Talks if you have not already done it. Hit the bell icon so that you can receive future notifications from my YouTube channel, and also leave a comment in the comment section below the video. Friends, I'm a common man like you, but on an interesting and never-ending journey. On my YouTube channel, you shall find a lot of such interesting stuff which very few others speak about and research on. So if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so ASAP and encourage me to share more. Your subscriptions, likes and comments stand as my only motivation. God bless you. Wishing you a wonderful, fulfilling and happy life ahead. Thank you so much for watching this wonderful video.